This is definitely the first surrealistic show I've mounted here at Studio 7. A number of the pieces have been shown here before, but never in this context. A lot of it is inspired by images that reoccur in my dreams. But, you know, the series of guys named Charles, for instance. Charles Atlas, famous historical Charles, next to Charles Darwin, who's contemplating existence next to an egg. I'm not sure they're surrealistic, but sometimes they get put into a somewhat surrealistic context as far as updating or placing historical figures and painting them in a way that's atypical and anachronistic. So I get a kick out of that. I actually think that the G-Man, he's as close to my subconscious as you can get. That's probably how I see myself in my subconscious. Facing this sort of episode, this mortality that's kind of reared its ugly head, has helped me to focus, I think, in a way that's very beneficial. It's kind of lit a fire under me, and definitely want to paint more. I want to get more paintings done. I definitely want to make sure that they're lively and they're painted in a way that's celebratory of life. The pencil sketch was done a good deal of time ahead of the actual oil painting of the picnic. The subconscious is really there in this sketch, and the picnic is one of the first large canvases I ever painted. It's basically people having a good time eating picnic food in a cemetery, graveyard. And I wanted to make it as lively and as colorful as possible. The one exception is the man with the striped shirt with the cat. And he's a bit of a, I guess he's a bit of a self-portrait. The surrealist works that I think stand out, the portrait of the bride with the passion fruit, the bride of Ang downstairs, the girl with the fox stole is another one of my favorites. It's a recent painting, and I had my daughter model it, but somehow the fox has come to life in the painting, and I get a real kick out of that one. In the middle is the bride. She's a combination of a John Singer Sargent and a Gerard Terborch skirt painting. I'm a big fan of his paintings of silk satin skirts. Next to a portrait of my wife, who's Princess Maggie. And then she's sandwiched between another bride painting with the Bride of Frankenstein theme. And it was fun painting the skirt. One of the most fun things to do is like different textures. That's the death of the shark in 1916. That's one of my reoccurring themes that's given more of a romantic approach, I'd say, than surrealistic. But it's definitely something that I've dreamt of many times.
Now, is there a cat in that?
There's a cat in that book. There's a cat in that book. Yeah. There's always like an animal sort of doing something. There's a dragonfly with my wife. There's a little bird there. There's two little beetles in the foreground there. There's always kind of something added in there, like a little bonus, you know. It's kind of the way I put things together. I like to take a piece from a scene from one landscape and combine it with something else in another and kind of mash them up. And and that to me gets me to a place where I'm very satisfied. This one?
To the right. Yeah.
That's a radio station in Secaucus, and then I transposed that island from the famous. I dropped that into the middle of the Hackensack. But that's one of those things, because I do a lot of this Hackensack, like over the door. That's like a Hackensack scene, you know. And so I've gotten familiar with that location. So then that location becomes an environment that I feel comfortable sticking other things into. Right, so that's kind of why I do landscapes. I just want to get familiar with places and settings. I do like these bridges because I'm always thinking I could put one of my shark paintings there. I could have them killing the shark here. I'm kind of like almost like a location scout for like a film or something.
Right.
I'm always trying to find places that I think I connect with.
Reference.
And then I'll do paintings of that scene or that place, and then that place can serve as a setting for another painting. Right? So even when I do people, I like to, you know, pick up different characters. Like, she's a person from my imagination. She doesn't exist. This guy doesn't exist. But everybody else on the wall, they're real people, right? But I can do combinations, so when I do a painting like that, with just totally imaginary people in it, they're somewhat based on people I know.
Yeah, I was for Charlie. And the people are interested.
That's my friend Teresa. But she actually went to the academy afterwards too. She was at the academy when I was at the academy, so it's kind of funny. You know, my wife's like, I want you to go to grad school, because she had just finished her graduate degree. At one point, she's like, you know, you should go to a place like the New York Academy. That really worked out well.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's great.
so that's her, that's my daughter Elizabeth. And I've become much more tuned into my my own heartbeat. I wear a heart monitor when I go to the gym. And I think becoming more aware of your body, of yourself, of what you're eating, what you're doing on a daily basis is beneficial for any artist. I essentially try to approach my commissions the same way I go with my personal pieces. The only difference is the client will see the work in progress, and they'll begin to make changes, and it then becomes more of an exercise for me in making sure that they're thoroughly pleased with whatever it is that they want me to do. But it never really stops being, you know, a Charlie Churchill painting.